Welcome to Season 4 of the Ward's Way podcast. So we're here live in Manteo, North Carolina at the 22nd Annual Carolina Boat Builder Foundation Tournament. Join us as we celebrate 75 years in business,
And we're just getting started.
welcome to the Ward's Way podcast, Season 4. We're live here at the 22nd Annual Carolina Boat Builders Tournament here in Manteo, North Carolina. I'm here with my friend Reese Fullerton with Cannon Marine Solutions.
Right,
All right,
Marine
well, welcome.
Solutions.
Welcome
Thank
to being here. And Reese agreed to be our first guest at this Billfish tournament, so we're super excited.
Excited
And
to
we
be
don't
here.
really have a huge topic. I'm not Barbara Walters with all of these questions, but I think one of the things I wanted to ask everybody, how did you start your business? When did your business start?
Business started, I'd say, what was it, 2019? I
Okay.
think it's about that, yeah.
Yep.
I've worked on the water my whole life, whether it was on fishing boats, commercial boats. I worked on ships for years.
Oh, wow.
Always kind of had a thing I love the industry, and I kind of got thrown into like the sales side of stuff. So I worked for a previous distributor that was the distributor for the polymer that we use in our
Okay.
material.
Okay.
When they were bought out, basically the area went up, that needed more representation, right?
Right.
So I decided, hey, I always wanted
Throw
to
your
have
hat
my own
in.
business.
Yeah,
Let's just give this
absolutely.
a shot. So I got some, partners together, and
Where are you
off it
based
went.
out of?
Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Okay. So
Mhm.
that's only a little bit further north from
Yeah,
here.
it's about
So
2 hours.
So you are really, is the heart of your business Sportfish, the boat builders?
Not at all.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell me.
So the heart of our business is actually commercial marine, military, and
Oh, wow.
industrial. So
Okay,
the same material that we use in our bearings for the Sportfish boats is actually the same material that's being used in applications in aircraft carriers, Coast Guard vessels, hydropower plants,
Okay.
pumps, anything and everything. So
I find that we're very much the same at Ward's. So we, obviously, we started at recreational, but we do commercial work, we do government work, and it's
Mhm.
interesting how I hear that story a lot, that people say, this is the industry we love.
right,
This
exactly.
is the part we love.
Yes.
And these are the really hard shows that we have to
Mhm.
come to. Let's show our burden.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it is
It's,
tough. Somebody's got to do it.
It's a tough one.
You
It's
know,
a tough
it really
one around
is.
here.
As owners, we have to be the one to do it. But it is interesting how it does kind of overlap into other industries.
Yes.
So you do work so you've been working on the Sportfish. You mentioned that you work with
Mhm.
John Bayless, and
Yes.
one of the builders of
Yep.
the founders of this tournament.
Yeah, and kind of exactly what you were saying is just that this industry is the one that we just love and that we're passionate about, and the way it all came about was that the builders like John Bayless had seen what we were doing, with other applications, and there was a few boats here and there out there that had the material that they were using, but one day he gave it a shot, and we worked on perfecting it and making it suit his boats.
So
real
let's say,
well,
what
and
is it? Tell us what the it is.
So we do shaft bearings,
Yeah.
or some people know as like cutlass bearings,
Okay.
and then we do dripless shaft seals, and that's kind of the main thing we're doing with the Sportfish boats right now. We
Okay.
have, some other stuff in the works, but as of right now, you're looking at shaft bearings, some rudder bearings, and then dripless shaft seals.
And what is your uniqueness? What makes your product the best?
So we use a proprietary polymer material as
Okay.
our bearing material. So the benefit of it is it's significantly quieter
Okay.
than anything else out on the market. We have the testing to prove it, because when we're going and doing work on, say, submarines and things like that, they actually will go do
Sure.
acoustical testing and send us back the reports on anything else that's out there. So
Okay.
we can confidently say that we're the quietest bearing material on the market, which is a huge deal for these guys trying to go out and catch
Yeah.
fish during the tournament season. And we also last, on average, normally like 2 to 3 times longer than anything else on the market as well.
Well, that's important too,
So-
especially as they use their boats, and they use their boats a lot.
Yeah.
So now,
yeah.
does quieter affect the fishing?
That's an interesting question, because that's that's debatable.
Okay,
right?
fair, fair.
There's a lot of people that absolutely say that. I think say quieter, that's hard to say, because it's like depends on the sound, right? If
Okay.
you've got kind of a steady, constant hum going on, like a lot of these older boats, they've got that traditional hum of the diesels and things like that. A lot of those boats raise fish, raise
Right.
a lot of fish. I think where you start getting, when the bearings come into play, when you start getting a lot of like squeaking, squealing, knocking,
Gotcha.
that's where it's going to make a big difference. So definitely certain noises not being present are going to absolutely affect how well the
So
fishing
like
is.
I was going to ask the question for people that I do electric.
Mhm.
I was going to ask some of the crew, is there anything electric that helped you, or is there anything electric that hurt you? Is that a question you've asked some of these captains? Is there anything on your bearings that have helped you or hurt you? Do you think that it's
Yeah, I mean, there's there's kind of a common conversation that we have where a lot of it is like they want quieter, but then there's another side of it too that you're starting to see with a lot of these builders that are kind of going away from some of maybe the old school way of doing things, and they're paying a lot more attention to things being within alignment, making sure that alignment's right, making sure those running clearances
Yeah.
are there, keeping that shaft line tight, everything tight, staying within tolerance where they want it to be. It's not so much anymore as it's like, well, if the shaft gets through the strut and the stern tube and the coupling locks up, then we're good to
we're
go.
good,
Like,
right?
yeah,
No.
these guys are getting away from that. So different captains, different owners, builders, they have the certain things that they like more about what
Mhm.
we're doing. But the common thread, I think, is definitely the fact that we're a lot quieter. And to my knowledge, we're also the only company that's doing bearings and shaft seals that we're going to show up to the yard. We're going to look
Yep.
at what's going on. We're going to take a whole view of the shaft line and ask exactly what it is that they want. We can make them custom. Like, off the shelf is great if you're trying to do
Sure.
volume, but we really want to focus on making it kind of a custom fit for exactly what that boat owner or that captain or that builder wants.
Do you have to do service in the field? Do you end up having to travel to these destinations and provide?
Sometimes we're fortunate enough to where the builders and the yards and stuff that we work with, they're able to handle
Okay.
that all.
Good.
Now it's more so of like phone calls of like, hey, we ran into this, what do you think? Or every
Right.
once in a while, do you mind coming down and taking a look? But man, these guys are so squared away, and we've been working with them for so long now with our material that they know it just as well. So
Any other ventures in the marine industry? Looking into yachting? Looking into?
yeah, so I mean, we definitely have done a couple yachts, good size yachts. I think now that so what I did a few years ago is I wanted like Bayless and the rest of these builders to run our stuff hard for a couple
Okay.
years, to where when we go and talk to customers, it's not just a sales pitch.
Sure.
We can confidently say and have the data to say like, nope,
That's
this
important.
stuff works.
Yeah, for sure.
Now that we've seen that over the past 3-4 years, now we're starting to like ramp up production. We're going to expand our reach. Our area is not seeing as many like large yachts as like what you're going to see like in Florida.
Sure.
But we've been talking with the yards down there that are interested. We've got stuff potentially now being stocked in Costa Rica.
Nice.
We got, so we're
Nice.
just kind of branching out
Yeah.
from there. But I wanted to be able to confidently tell people that this will work, will solve your problem, and not just give them like a sales pamphlet. And
Well,
say,
it's your name and it's your business and it's your reputation. So you want
Right.
to make sure that all of that is
exactly.
all of that's met.
Yeah.
So any new expansions? You gonna expand?
Yeah. I mean,
Come on, we can tell people here. You heard it here.
Right now, I've still got some things that we're not gonna say publicly just
Gotcha.
yet. I would say
That's
but
good that you've got stuff in the works, though. You
yeah,
gotta have
yeah.
it.
And we're looking at we are looking at expansion stuff where larger machine shop,
Yeah.
things like that.
So
So
retooling extra, for different
Exactly.
sizes.
Yep, definitely. So and then there's some other potential product lines in the works. I'm really really picky about who
Good.
I want to work with and represent. I
You
don't
should
want to be just another company that just kind of has like this huge line card of things that they only know a little bit about. And, like we want to really kind of stay focused on the type of work that we do and be able to offer that service and everything along with it. So we got some stuff there that we're working on.
Is any of your stuff on the boats that are out during this tournament, you think?
Bearings and seals?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
Absolutely.
right. So
Yeah.
are you going to watch and see? Should we do something that says, if they had Canyon, bearings in them that they brought in more fish? Let's see. Maybe we could do a recap at the end of the tournament.
We could do a recap. I don't want to jinx it, but maybe we can do a recap.
Well, we can do the recap. We're not saying what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But we could definitely add it to your case studies and your testimonials that in addition, the equipment that was on this boat helped it bring in more fish.
Yeah, maybe.
You could draw that correlation. I'm doing the same thing electric wise, trying to find out.
It's a good idea. I would have to look. I want to see the, I haven't even seen what this year's participant list looks like just yet.
No, so. I was listening. Did you listen to the captain's briefing? I was listening to some of that to see and how they were all doing, but it looks like a good group. They were all already getting competitive, already making their wagers, Best part about this industry, I think, is that they use their boats.
Oh, yeah.
So I definitely, these boats are being used.
Oh, yeah.
These
100%.
boats are getting out there. These boats are being put to the test, to the weather, to the fishing. And that's what they're designed to do,
Mm-hmm.
So I love seeing, especially in the sport fish side.
Yeah. Same here. We've there's so many tournaments now. Like it's hard to keep up with them.
Do you go to a lot of them?
We don't go to a lot of them, but we try to. I've always been really bad about kind of like the social media marketing side of things, and now I'm trying to keep up with it more and more because, we were word of mouth for a long time, which is great. But now I'm trying to just kind of get more exposure out there on what boats we have running our stuff and who's out there fishing, and all of them do so well, and there's so many tournaments that you're watching, a South Carolina tournament, and the next thing you know, they're in Bermuda, and then now they're back to North Carolina.
And they're planning ahead, and they already have their schedule out for the entire year.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I know from our perspective, when we try to do a yard period, they're planning a yard period 28 months in advance because the fishing schedule is such that they can't make the time, or what are they going to give up? And I love that. Again, the boats are designed to be used.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're happy for that, Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that helps us too, to where we can kind of like forecast a little bit about kind of what we have coming. Like we know that before the East Coast tournament season starts, we start seeing a ramp up in sales, material, and things like that. And then we know that after that, you got a lot of boats that are going to come in before they head to Costa Rica. So we know we get a ramp up there. And then, but it's been fun watching all of them do as well as they do. And, that's, for me, like kind of growing up around it, like that's my
satisfaction of kind of the job well done.
Like if I see like let's say a celebrity or a sports athlete or like a rock star, I'm like, yeah, cool, that's so and so. These guys, like when I was a kid, like being at the docks and watching them back into a slip and throw fish on the dock. Like,
which, by the way, I'm still in awe. Just setting up here, watching a couple of the guys come in sideways right down this channel and just bang it right into the slip. You're like, okay, not their first time.
It's so cool. And then when we get a call to do like a certain boat, like a big name boat, like if you're not in the industry, you're kind of like, oh yeah, cool, that's a pretty boat. But for us, we're like, that's wave paver, that's Tar Heel, that's Sketch 23, that So we just get really excited about the people that we get to work with, and we're honored to be used on a lot of these boats that we're working with. So yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
Did you hear about? Sorry to always go into legislative.
No.
Did you? Were you a part of or paying attention to any of that NOAA rule that it was going to be with the offshore? Are you happy?
Yeah.
What's your what are your comments or thoughts on that now that it's been?
You're talking about like the vessel speed. Oh man, that would have been terrible. That would have been terrible.
Right.
I mean, we look at it for us. I mean, where we are in Virginia Beach. I mean, you got your shipping channel going in through there. You've already got the right whale speed stuff that's in place. I mean, that was going to be a long run, a very slow ride to get out to the canyon or get to where we're going to be. So that would have been tough. I don't know.
And I do think that it's actually quite remarkable that the rule even though the comments were put through, it was remarkable, one, that the rule went through after all the comments that were posted, especially by builders. I mean, there were national associations out there saying this is going to be a detrimental impact, and it still went through. But even more astonishing is that it was retracted. And that just goes to show the power of the industry, and I think enough, and common sense, which we don't always see in this day and age. But it was actually nice to see that here's a legislative rule with a wonderful intent by people that just maybe aren't familiar with an industry and understanding the impacts, but then to have it be retracted and recognizing the significance of the industry, I thought was incredible.
It was,
and that is not something you see all the time.
No, and it was, I mean, the industry worked hard against it for a while, because I mean, I remember being at Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, like, was it at least 2 years ago?
At least 2 years
and
ago.
Viking had the whole thing going on at their booth, and I mean, it was a lot.
And
I
feel like it could have been 3 years ago. It could have been 2022. Yeah,
a lot of hard work was put into that.
There was.
It is cool to see when the industry comes together that way, and
it is, and we get united. It would be nice to be united a little more without having to have a fight, but it's always a good fight that helps bring everybody together. So.
And speaking on that, it is, I do like too, with working with these builders, and especially here, you know, in Dare County, but even from Dare County to Ocean City and down, like, these guys, I mean, everybody is building an amazing boat. Their businesses they're competitors in that regard, but they also like help each other. They're sharing, and like, they're working together. Like, there's still that camaraderie that's there in the boat building industry and the sport fishing industry. You saw it tonight with John Bayless and Paul Spencer standing there helping each other, you know, on the same island in Wanchese, and yet they're competitors, but in this moment, they're just collective builders and supporting an industry, and I love to see that. The amount that they learn from each other 100%. And how much they've learned from one another throughout the years and things like that. It's really cool to see. You don't see that a lot. I mean, especially in business, it's tough that way. It is. And you know, there's only so many owners out there that are willing to buy these, and God bless all of them. Thank you. Reach out. Thank you for all of you owners that will purchase these vessels and purchase our equipment and use them, because you really do drive the industry. But you know, there's only a limited amount of people, and so ultimately everybody's, you know, vying after that customer. So it is still nice though to see, and I do get the sense that they wanted it to be their boat, but they're just happy they would stay in a boat and still continue to do billfish and sportfish tournaments. So absolutely, I do think that would be good. It's a big industry, but it is very small at the same time. I was just having a conversation about this before we met at the booth, where, you know, if you just work hard, you do right by people, you know, you answer your phone, you try to help them as much as possible. Operate with integrity. Right. Whatever everybody else is doing, let them do it. You know, don't get into it with other companies, any of those things. Like, the industry is also small enough that even from what we learned from being word of mouth for so long, like, word of mouth spread for us big. Yes. I mean, and also can be detrimental if you do it wrong. That word of mouth. Exactly. Doesn't matter what your social media campaign is if one rumor on the dock that your product or my product or somebody's product wasn't, you know, wasn't what it needed to be, everybody knows it. And if there's a problem, just fix it. Agree. Just fix it. Stand behind your work, stand behind your product. If you can't figure out how to fix it, find somebody who can. Just bend over backwards for the customer, and just try to do everything in your power to make it right. And it's the best you can do, you know? So if you're wondering why it says the Ward's Way, this is that's what we call, that's really the name of our culture, so to speak. We say it's the Ward's way of doing things. And we always try to do our best to operate with integrity. You have to be honest. You have to look somebody in the face, even if it's news they don't want to hear, or people are going to make mistakes, and you have to own them, and you have to stand behind your work. And I think you're going to be very successful in many, many years to come. So I appreciate that. Thank you for being on the Ward's Way podcast today, season 4, and I hope you have a tremendous tournament. And we are going to do that follow-up. I want to know, based on the winners on Friday. We're going to see. That sounds good. Yeah, let's do it. And I'll say I'm a fan of the Ward's Way. We talked about it. The amount of time and effort that you guys put into making a catalog, that is impressive, because that is something that you could easily overlook and just make it a super quick handout. That thing is like, it was like, I don't know, it was like a yearbook. or like a
You know, exactly. And that's what we were going for. We wanted it to be something that you could sit on a table, sit on a helm, sit in the in the cockpit, and it'd be something that you're like, that's worthy of being there, and you'll never get rid of it.
Absolutely.
Never throw it away.
No, it was fantastic.
Okay.
So,
Well, thank you, Reese,
Thank you.
for being on the show today, and thank you for being part of the Wards Way.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thank you for joining us this season of the Wards Way podcast. Be sure you subscribe because there's much more to come.